Food safety alert. 7 canned fish brands to avoid, and 2 you can actually trust, or can you? You've probably opened a can of sardines or tuna and thought, cheap, easy, and healthy. But what if that small tin hiding in your pantry was quietly poisoning you? From botulism outbreaks to fake olive oil and dangerous sodium levels, not every can is what it claims to be. Today, we'd be exposing 7 canned fish brands you should never touch, and 2 that might still be worth your trust, if you'd be lucky. And just to be clear, we won't mention real brand names in this video to avoid legal issues. But every example you hear is based on verified recalls and consumer reports. Shortage warning, canned fish prices rising. Manufacturers are warning of upcoming shortages in canned fish, and that means some companies are cutting corners. Cans that once symbolized clean protein are now one of the most common sources of foodborne illness in North America. If you still think canned sardines and tuna are the safest cheap protein, you might want to think again. Before we dive in, let us know where you're watching from and what canned fish brands you actually trust. We love reading your comments and experiences. They help others stay safe too. Number 7. The flavored nightmare. Warning sign, artificial flavors. Coming in at number 7, we start with the flavored fish cans. You've seen them. Garlic, jalapeno, lemon pepper versions that promise excitement and taste. But in multiple documented recalls, those very flavor additives became the reason cans were pulled from shelves. Improper flavoring or incomplete sterilization can create perfect conditions for botulinum spores. 1 microgram of that toxin can shut down your nervous system, and it doesn't matter if the can looks perfectly normal. Experts warn that flavored variants are high risk because they introduce multiple steps of processing and human handling. Text on screen. Expert tip, stick to olive oil or water only. If you want flavor, add it yourself. The safest canned fish is the simplest one. No gimmicks, no additives, no smoked lime chili. Number 6. The golden label deception. Warning sign, fancy packaging. You might think a gold label means higher quality. The truth is the opposite. In the past few years, regulators across Europe and the US issued silent recalls for premium cans due to bacterial contamination. Customers opened shiny tins expecting freshness and found fish soaked in cloudy oil or with a faint metallic smell. That odor isn't strong fish. It is oxidation and bacterial growth inside the can. Several reported cases involved consumers experiencing stomach cramps and dehydration after eating from these so-called luxury tins. But most never heard about the recalls because the press releases were buried under corporate PR. Visual cue. Slow zoom on golden can in soft light, fading to red warning symbol. So next time you see an overly fancy can promising heritage quality, remember, it's the bacteria you can't see that will cost you most. Number 5. The discount trap. Warning sign, too cheap to be real. The discount store cans, you know the type. Bright red packaging, sold for under $1. For many families, these are a budget staple. But low price often comes with invisible risks. In several FDA bulletins, discount imports were pulled for botulism risk caused by defective sealing and undercooked batches. Botulism isn't a stomach bug, it's a paralytic toxin. It can cause blurred vision, breathing failure, and death within 24 hours if untreated. Imagine opening a can that smells metallic, oily, and slightly chemical. That's not fish, that's spoiled protein and rancid oil. Visual cue. Person smelling can, recoiling instantly. Experts say cheap canned fish is often produced in facilities with outdated sterilization equipment. If a can is sold for under $1, ask yourself what corners were cut to get there. Number 4. The unregulated imports. Warning sign, no country of origin. Next are the mysterious, unlabeled imports. They pop up in small grocery stores and corner markets, often missing any trace of origin or inspection stamps. In several cases, cans like these slipped into the country without FDA approval or batch tracking numbers. When things go wrong, there's no way to trace where the contamination started or to recall the product. Consumers have reported dented, oily, leaking tins with strange colors or gelatinous fish texture. That slimy gray tone means protein breakdown. Bacteria has already started digesting the flesh. Visual cue: grayish sardines under harsh light. If the label is faded, misspelled, or printed in a language you don't recognize, walk away. It's not worth gambling your immune system for a home-style price tag. Number 3, the healthy label lie. Warning sign: too much sodium. This one hits close to home because it hides under the word healthy. Many brands market their canned fish as a heart-friendly source of omega-3s. But a single can pack over 2,500 milligrams of sodium, nearly 2/3 of your daily limit. For anyone taking blood pressure medication or diuretics, that's not health food. That's a trigger for dizziness, fluid retention, and kidney stress. Visual cue: nutrition label zoom in, highlighting sodium 1,400 dl. The irony? The same companies selling low sodium versions often use the same oil blend and salt content, just under different product codes. Always read the back label. Healthy means nothing if your heart can't handle it. Number 2, the fake olive oil scam. Warning sign: fake olive oil. Olive oil is supposed to protect your heart, not destroy it. But lab tests have revealed that up to 70% of olive oil used in imported canned fish isn't olive oil at all. It's often cut with cheap soybean or sunflower oil, sometimes even rancid batches that failed purity testing. When you open a can and smell burnt plastic or old frying oil, that's the giveaway. This fake oil oxidizes quickly and raises inflammatory markers in your body. For seniors or anyone with cardiovascular issues, that's dangerous. Visual cue: split screen, real olive oil versus cloudy fake oil. If a label just says in olive oil without listing extra virgin or certification, you're rolling the dice with your liver and kidneys. Number 1, the toxic metal surprise. Warning sign: heavy metals detected. Finally, the silent killer. Canned fish contaminated with heavy metals like mercury and arsenic. These aren't isolated cases. Independent testing found dangerous levels in certain batches of popular imported sardines and mackerel. Chronic exposure leads to neurological issues, fatigue and organ damage, especially for older adults. You can't taste mercury and you can't smell arsenic, but your body pays the price over time. The scariest part: these cans still pass regulatory standards because average contamination levels are calculated across multiple lots. Text on screen: regulation loophole. So even if one batch is toxic, it doesn't always trigger a recall. This means your safe might legally contain just enough poison to stay on the shelf. The supposedly safe too. Now let's talk about the 2 canned fish brands that appear to be safe. Some premium labels focus on traceability, sustainable fisheries, and lower sodium content. They publish batch testing data and list exactly where their fish are caught. If you find brands that show this level of transparency, they're worth considering. But even then, don't assume perfection. Researchers have detected microplastic fragments in more than 80% of tested seafood samples worldwide. That includes safe brands. Microplastics act as carriers for toxic chemicals, slowly building up in your system with every bite. Text on screen: hidden danger microplastics. So yes, a clean label is good, but it doesn't make you immune. The twist: what you're really eating. Here's the truth. Even the so-called trusted brands can fully control what happens before that can reaches your shelf. Global fishing operations mix catches from dozens of suppliers, and traceability breaks down at sea. Factories reuse oils, cans are stored in humid warehouses, and quality testing is often outsourced. By the time you pop that lid, the ocean's health and your own are already intertwined. The real danger: systemic. So, what's the fix? Buy from brands that publish test results, use certified extra virgin oil, and show batch codes. Rotate your protein sources. Don't rely on canned fish as a daily staple. And remember, the most dangerous ingredient in your pantry isn't the fish, it's blind trust. If you learned something new today, hit like and share this video with someone who eats canned fish every week. Stay informed, stay safe. Subscribe to Smart Buyer Files for more deep dives into what companies don't want you to know. Because sometimes, the truth about what yes in your food isn't hidden in fine print. It's yes sealed right under the lid.